Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and welcome back to my spring cleaning series in PokeMMO. If you don't know, if you didn't watch episode 1, this is episode 2 of my spring cleaning series, but don't worry, you don't need to have seen episode 1 to understand what we were doing today. We are just selling a bunch of Pokemon, specifically Pokemon that have been sitting in my boxes for an extremely long time before I started my Ironman account. Some of these Mons have been in here for over a year, over 2 years sometimes, and I need to go through all of them, price check them, sell them, and get some of that Pokeyen back into my account flowing so I can really jump back into the main account and do things like testing money making methods and figuring out what the economy is like right now, which I know it's struggling for a lot of people, but there are still ways to make money and abuse it. Thankfully today I have a lot of money sitting in my PC, just sitting here, you know, waiting for me to capture it. So we're gonna go through Pokemon. I'm gonna price check things, I'm gonna sell things off, we're gonna keep track of all the profit, quote unquote profit, that I make here today. Now this is not real profit, you know, I spent a bunch of money to get these Pokemon and I do not remember how much was spent on them. It was years ago. We're really uncovering buried treasure. That's what we're doing here today. You know, I don't know what I spent on these. I'm sure there was a small profit on most of these. I'm sure some of them are lost money. If I was like breeding for an Edge Shiny or opening mysterious balls, you know, I'm not making money on that kind of stuff, right? But it is still extra Pokeyen that I can get back into the account. So let's go ahead and get started with some of these alpha Pokemon up here at the top, like this 3x31 alpha Quillfish. Now, first things first, we're going to check Quillfish alphas and see if they have a bit of value. They have a little bit, obviously. They're not worth a ton. They're one of the cheaper alphas, honestly, but people do need hidden ability access Quillfish. To intimidate Quillfish, I believe, is the most used, if not one of the most used abilities in PvP, but you can use multiple different ones. Let's go check Quillfish out. He's over in NU. He's a 9% play rate Pokemon with a 53% win rate, with 80% of which being from Intimidate. So this is very likely, honestly, a Pokemon that we could actually sell as a Quillfish, whereas normally when you sell a Pokemon you have to decide, do you want to sell it as a breeder or as a species Pokemon? And that really means if you sell it as a species Pokemon, it means that someone wants to buy this and keep it a Quillfish. They want to breed up a competitive Quillfish. If you're selling something as a breeder, it means that someone is buying that Pokemon to then use to breed within the egg group, but put the IVs onto a different, more important Pokemon. We might be able to sell this as a Quillfish, which usually does raise the price, but it also might take a little bit longer to sell for that reason. So we're going to look up 31 attack, 31 speed, and then I'm just going to do 25 plus first. I could obviously raise the Spadef to 31 since it is 31, but you don't want to over correct or over input your price check. That's the difficulty with price checking in PokeMMO, is you don't want it to be too specific, but you also don't want it to be too broad. Too specific and then you sell something for too high and it's not actually worth that and no one will buy it. Too broad and you'll undersell something. Like the most comparable Quillfish, if I look up that 31 special defense, is going to be 380k, but I really do not think that this one is worth that much, especially since it has a jolly nature, which is relevant and can actually be used. This is more of a PvP ready Quillfish than mine is. But then if I search for this, 40k is just too cheap. That's really, really cheap compared to my Quillfish, and even this one hasn't sold for 9 days or so. If I really wanted to make some good money on this, what I could do is actually take the time to go ahead and breed it up and create a better one. But today we're not going to do that, but that might be something to do in a future video. I'm going to go ahead and sell this for 145k. And honestly, this might be a little bit of a controversial listing. I'm going to undercut this one. This is just a really difficult Pokemon to price check. Generally, 3x31s historically used to be around 120 to 140k, but they are not those prices anymore. However, Quillfish being a decently demanded Pokemon with that hidden ability access specifically, and the fact that mine is female, I think this is a fair price personally, but it's going to be difficult. We'll have to see. The market is in a very, very touchy spot right now in PokeMMO, and more than ever, things have been moving at different rates, and it's difficult to tell if a price check is correct right now. It is more up in the air than ever, in my opinion, since things are moving so slowly. So if you disagree with my price checks, that is totally okay. That is a totally valid opinion to have. Don't try to be too mean to me in the comments, pretty please. There's a lot of room for interpretation these days when it comes to price checks on the GTL. We're in a lesser fluid market where it really comes down to whatever someone is willing to pay, which is obviously always how that works, but it's really exemplified right now more than ever. Now, I'm going to add on my calculator. I sold that for about 145k, but it was like an 8k listing fee, so I'm only going to add 138,000, which is a lot of Pokeyen on our first listing, to be fair. 138k, just like that. Next up, another Quillfish. This one's impish. This one actually can potentially be sold like with that nature. Impish isn't ideal. I mean, 32. This is actually a really good Quillfish. Impish. Wow. Oh, this might actually be some really good money. Wow. If I took the time to EV train this as well. Oh, this could be really, really good. 31 defense, 31 attack. This might be some really good yen, boys. Yeah, the most comparable one is 4 times 31, but it's relaxed nature. I think that I could go ahead and sell this quillfish for like 180k, maybe even that 200k mark, honestly. Like, it's ready to go. It just needs to be EV trained. It's not up for 10 days. How fast do I want this to sell is the question. I just don't think I need it to sell that fast. I'm down to go 180k though. So I would do 179,999 just like this. And I'm going to count that as plus 172k, I think. Let's do 170. Rather undercut or underestimate than overestimate. That is already 308,000 Pokeyen expected quote-unquote profit. Obviously I spent money, but 308,000 expected Pokeyen coming, and this is gonna be a much more higher value video than the previous ones. I might even end up moving. I really need to just clear PC space. I need to just clear Pokemon and kind of crank through these. Like, the Pokeyen is honestly just a cherry on top. I'm really just trying to clear out my PC. I can't have 5 boxes, you know, 5 boxes of space dedicated to Pokemon that I need to sell. That is peak laziness. Since we're already at 308,000 Pokeyen, I'm going to save some of these alphas for later. Let's just start cranking through some of these random 1 times 31s down here throughout my boxes. I'm not going to show you guys every single Pokemon that I list because a lot of these are just worth very, very little. Like this Vanillish, it's Mineral Egg Group 31 speed. It might be as low as like 5k to even 3k. Yep, around 3,000 Pokeyen, and that's if I'm patient with it. But to be fair, it does have 30 in the 2 other stats. People do really value these more than I expected these days. That's obviously like way too high. What if I change these to like 25 plus and like these stats? Sometimes like 5k here. That's enough for 9 days though. Like, do I really want to list this for like 9 days for like 2,000 extra Pokeyen? Probably not. I'm going to go ahead. Like, if someone wants to buy this for 3k and like they get like a really cool deal on it, they deserve it. You know, that's kind of my expectation on it. And yeah, that instantly sold, which could be an indicator that I underpriced it, but I really don't think so. I think that's just the current state of the economy, for better or for worse. But mistakes do happen. I always say with all the things that I list, even though I've played this game for a very, very long time, even at my peak of like market prowess, I would say that I still made around 5% mistakes. Like 5% of the listings that I put up, I still probably mislisted, because that is how complicated and difficult price checking is in PokeMMO. Now, nowadays, I'm returning to the market. It's been a while. I'm probably going to miss some things. Like if a Pokemon has hidden ability access or certain specific species or egg groups that are more valuable these days, I might miss some things. There's a good chance that I make about 10 to 15%, even higher, upwards of 10 to 20% mistakes today in this video. And all you can do is relearn the market. When you take a break, like I'm playing my Ironman account, I have to come back, I have to relearn things from scratch. And this is a visual for you guys to see a veteran player, like still always has to relearn things and still has to adapt. You're never done learning in PokeMMO. Like, because this Snorunt is male and has like a fair bit of extra stats, 25 plus HP, attack, and speed up, just missing the speed, which you normally do want to brace to like 31 speed onto, I think I can sell this for about 10,000 Pokeyen pretty consistently here. Something kind of gross here is I don't even think it's worth to list this Pikachu. 31 Spadef in both the field and fairy A group is so cheap. It's not worth the 1,000 Pokeyen listing fee to make 800 Pokeyen or have this potentially not sell. Is it Patrouski OT? You know what? Since it's Patrouski OT, I'm just gonna list it for 1,500, like something super cheap, right? I try to never take advantage of Patrouski OT. People always bring this up when I do my selling videos. Yes, people do sometimes buy my Pokemon just because they have my OT, which is really cute. I'm honored people care about it that much, right? But I try really hard to never take advantage of it. This is gonna be like a 500 Pokeyen gain, you know? If someone wants that, I don't value, my OT is not special. It's just like a, you know, some people like it's like a signature for them. That's really cool. Like someone instantly bought that. I hope they're happy. You know, I don't want to take advantage of that situation. That would corrupt all my videos and corrupt all my money-making methods if I tried to oversell or overlist because of that. It's really important to me to keep that integrity. Next up, we do have a Jinx. We've sold only 5 Pokemon so far. The yapping Patrouski strikes again. I'm sure this video is far too long for that few Pokemon to be sold. But that's okay. That's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to hopefully teach and show the thought process behind selling Pokemon on the GTL while we also uncover how much Pokeyen I have sitting around. Now, this is a good example here. I almost sold this Delibird as an alpha Delibird for about 36,000 Pokeyen, but if you look here, every single Delibird on your screen is all female. What that tells me, this one, mine's male, this could actually sell as a male egg group alpha breeder, probably for a decent amount of Pokeyen. Let's go check Water A, male alpha. We're going to get rid of the Delibird up here. Yeah, wow! The cheapest Water A male alpha. So this is, people are buying these to Shalfa breed. That's what that means. That being 63k. Holy. And then it is, what's the other egg group? Water A field. I bet you Water A is the more expensive one. We're going to double check that. You want to check both? Yeah, 43k. That is impressive. Holy, man. That being, yeah, 63. I'm going to sell for 63k flat. Make it the cheapest sale. No reason to, you know, inflate it. Boom. That's going to be plus 60,000 Pokeyen. That's really cool. Here's a good example of a Pokemon that I actually would sell as a species. Sometimes people do need Ramparduses these days. They are a good raid Pokemon, and a 31 attack Cranidos goes for as much as 11k, which is like pretty good. That's really good yen, versus selling it as a monster male breeder without the Cranidos. It would only be about 3,000 to 5,000. So that is a significant increase. We're going to sell that for 11,000, just like that'll be plus 10k. We're already up to 411,000 Pokeyen. A lot of the yen being those two Quillfishes, to be fair, right? You got to keep that in mind, but we are starting to make some space here in this one box. Another great example of a Pokemon that the average PokeMMO player may not realize has value is 31 special attack Cranidos. Why would a Pokemon that is infamously known for using its physical attack stat, why would you want it to have 31 special attack? For those who don't know, the best XP trading spot in all of PokeMMO actually uses a special attacking Rampardos with Surf and Mold Breaker. It's the best Pokemon at that spot is a special attacking Surf and Rampardos. So 31 Spatak Cranidos actually go for 15,000 Pokeyen. And if it's female, I think mine was male. If it was female, it would even go for more, which is crazy. So you can get some really good money off of those. That is plus 14k after the listing fee, of course. We're at 425k right now. Now, some of these Pokemon just need to be released. Like these, that's how lazy I've been, bro. I mean, to be fair, I've been I'm conflating lazy and busy. But you know what? They're kind of, you can always make time, right? There's always kind of an excuse to some extent, but we got a lot going on these days. Like these Mienfus, like, these are nothing. I'm not going to sell. These have no value. These are just getting released. See you later, fellas. Honestly, it's nice to see the Staryu and Starmie economy recovering. For a long time, these were like less than 1,000 or 2,000 Pokeyen. The fact that these are now up to like 4 to 5k is really, really, really good to see. For those who don't know, there was a ton of 1x31 Staryus that were brought into the game during the Christmas event. So yeah, once again, it's just nice to see that economy actually heal a bit, since Starmie is a very, very desired and very, very cool Pokemon. That was 3,000 Pokeyen or so profit right there. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how well something like this sells, but because this field has 20 plus in every stat, and I think players are valuing that right now in the current like budget given economy, I'm going to list this for like 20k. I don't want to go like the full 22. Maybe like 21 to tank the listing fee and then have it be 20k clean. I'm going to try to sell it for that. I honestly, out of all the things I've listed in this video, I don't know if that will sell, but I'm curious to see if it does. Sometimes you have to take those little risks or gambles where you just like let a listing end and lose the 1,000 Pokeyen. That's okay sometimes to really test things and, you know, get a hold on the economy once again if you are relearning it. Now, these Pikachus are not worth much. It's crazy because like farming Pikachus, the fairy egg group used to be one of the better egg groups actually. And these days it is one of the cheapest. Alpha fairies that have brought into the game and really flooded that market. 31 Spatak field egg group being like 2k. Yeah, this is just, I'm gonna sell this for 2k, I guess. But that might not sell, or it might, is that Patrouski OT, like it might sell for that reason, but that's not a whole lot. That's 1,000 Pokeyen, you know, coming in. I don't know if we would even sell that one typically. Maybe I shouldn't even, you know what, I'm going to subtract the 1k. I don't know if I would suggest a normal person actually selling that. And here's a Stantler with 20 plus and a ton of stats, worth about 3,000 or so Pokeyen. Nothing super crazy, but every little bit counts. I think every little bit helps right now more than ever. All right, now this Chansey is the last Pokemon that I want to sell before tackling these Torkoals, and I might send off some of these alphas over to the other boxes to even things out a bit, but I might go ahead and at least keep some of them. You know what? Let's go ahead. I think it's a fun thing to go ahead and like spread the love. One box can't have all the alphas. That's going to make all these, you know, this one spring cleaning episode to be super loaded. versus I feel like the love should be spread a little bit. We'll at least sell one more. Let's keep this this Poliwag around to sell, but other than that, let's spread the love, and we'll get rid of some of these. All the Pokemon we brought in up here, we'll get rid of these, and then these Tortles. I have a little story to tell about these Tortles, but first things first, let's sell off these Chanseys. I said these Chanseys, but it is only one Chansey, and you really just want all the defense stats on a Chansey. I feel pretty comfortable listing this for about 8,000 Pokeyen, 31 Spadef, and then 25 plus HP. It's got the 30 Spatak as well, so it might be a deal for someone at that point, which is a good thing. I want to give players deals while also making some good Pokeyen on my own. I always say, like, people often say, like, oh, flippers are just people who take advantage of other people. I don't think, I've never felt that way. I've played a lot of MMOs, I've played a lot of economy games. Usually flippers are people who are willing to sit on things and be patient. For players like, you know, newer players who need to get their Pokeyen faster. It's kind of like you're paying for a resource, right? You're paying for time. Often newer players are willing to, or even veteran players like myself sometimes, depending on what's happening. If it's during Shiny Wars or in preparation for Shiny Wars or something like that, I need to get Pokeyen quicker. I need to liquidate my assets faster. I will underlist things on purpose, understanding that a flipper can make a little bit of profit off me while I still get my money faster. It's like paying for that kind of that service. I think a lot of players come to understand. That's just my opinion and my thoughts. Feel free to disagree respectfully, of course, but that's always been my thoughts on the matter. And I've been on both sides of that. I've done the flipping where I've sat on things and been patient and made profit. And I've also quick listed, what I call quick listing, right? I've quick listed things to liquidate faster and get that Pokeyen faster if that's something that I need to do. I do respect that concern, though, does come from a really good place. It comes from a concern of not wanting new players to get ripped off, which I think is really admirable and really wholesome and sweet at the end of the day, even though I may disagree with it respectfully, right? I understand where they're coming from. Next up, we do have this Vanillite. That's not bad, man. The mineral egg group, it's 20, it's kind of bad. It's 20 plus in like every stat. I almost missed that, though. It's also adamant nature. Now that's relevant. Oh my, that ups it. Like how this is not fully comparable. Obviously, it's 2 times 31, but that does up the price quite a bit. This is we're not even doing 25. This is 20 plus. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm probably gonna sell this for 30k, maybe 35. I could get away with. I could probably do 35. I think 35 is fair. We're gonna do that as a plus 33k profit. That Vanillite was much better than I expected. That's awesome. That was a 1 times 31. Just looking through my boxes, right? Let's finish selling these off. We'll get to these Tortles in a quick sec. We have this Cubchoo. We'll finish off with the Poliwag. 2 times 31 here. Probably just, I don't think anything super interesting to consider here. Well, let's double check. I don't know if hidden ability access Beartic is worthwhile. I don't think people, I love Beartic. He has access to Snow Plow and Swift Swim, doubling his speed in 2 different weathers. I think is super interesting, but I don't think it has a whole lot of value. But you know what? You do want to double check. So let's see. Hidden ability access, Cubchoo, sort by minimum price. Yeah, there's no extra value because of this. Gotta double check though. Whew, so we only sell this as an egg group breeder, which makes this go for about 15,000. Is it male? Okay, it is male. Maybe that's a bit better. 15k for a female, 22k for a male, up to 25. Okay, I'm gonna go the 22k price. I think that's more accurate. People will just buy the dittos instead. That's gonna be about plus 20k profit. Okay, much better than I expected on these last couple months. Almost up to 550k expected profit coming in. Now here's an example of a Pokemon where the hidden ability probably matters. People need Pickpocket, Sneasels, and Weaviles. These are used for amulet coin farming. It's a great example of the more you know about PokeMMO, the more it intertwines with your ability to make more money. The more knowledge you have within PokeMMO, the more money you can make. The fact that I know, watch this be like super cheap and destroy my point, but the fact that, there we go. The fact that I know that amulet coin farming is really important and that you need Pickpocket Weaviles nowadays to do it properly, it lets me know that this hidden ability at all is just worth good value. So the hidden ability Sneasels at all are worth 15k or so. Now this one has 31 Spatak, but I'm gonna be honest with you, that's irrelevant. Like the 31 Spatak actually like doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna sell this for 15k, I guess, because it has that green number if someone cares about that, but it doesn't really add a whole lot of value, even though it's in a sea of no 1 times 31s. Like technically I could have sold it for a little more, like, but I think that this is just gonna sit. There's not really a reason to do that. I'd rather sell it for that 15k mark. I am really impressed. I do feel like people are valuing 20 plus in every stat much more than I realize. And I feel like that's the pragmatic element of PokeMMO coming out. For a long time, I think people overvalued the pretty 31s, you know, just the 31s. Like, I think for a long time, people were willing to overpay for those. But now that people just need good enough Pokemon for raids and PVM activity, people are starting to once again, for the first time in 5 to 10 years or so, really, probably 5 years, really value that 20 plus in every stat. The fact that this deerling goes for 15k, like, it's an advantage. Like, there are positives and negatives to every economy, you know. When things are a bit scrappier like this, the fact that 20 pluses go up is really cool. In the previous economy, I think the previous economy was better and you'd make more Pokeyen on average. This might only sell for like 8k or 10k, you know. The fact that this sells for 15k is pretty cool. The fact that people are valuing the actual usage, you know, those 20 plus stats, which is often all you need, versus just valuing the 31 because it looks nice, you know. Now here's a 31 Spatak Vanillite with modest nature. I'm curious. I'm going to double check this as a breeder and then also as a species, because it's mineral egg group, which is not ideal, but Vanillix is a special attacker. So as an egg group breeder, it would go for about 8 to 10k. Let's now check it as a Vanillite. Okay, that's obviously not accurate, but wow, Vanillixes are in high demand. So the fact that that's the only comparison, wow, I might be able to sell this for like 25k. That's pretty nuts. Maybe even like 30. I mean, I'm gonna list it for 30. I mean, there's just no other comparisons. What's someone on the market gonna do? They have to breed their own, which people often don't want to do. I wonder if I should actually wait a minute. Like, the fact that mine is female as well, I could breed this and make some really good money. If I were to buy, let's double check. Let's see actually. If I were to buy a male mineral egg group 3131 like this, let's get rid of this. I could buy this for 29k, breed it with mine. I would Everstone 1 and Brace 1. It would cost 15k plus 29 is 45k. It would cost me 45k to breed this. So I would sell the, I might breed this. I would sell this for 30k. Or I could buy a breeder, end the Brace, and the Everstone. That would cost me 45k. Let's keep the 561 number in mind, but let's do, you know, 30k plus 45k. That's the cost of our resources here. 75k. And then I would end up selling this for I think like 120k, right? Let's get rid of this. Go back to searching for vanilla. Yeah, I would sell this for 120k. Now this says defenses, to be fair, so maybe I think it's worth it though. I'm making like 50 or so extra k. I think that's worth my time. I'm gonna go ahead and go do that really quick. Didn't expect to do a breed in this video, but it's a great example of like sometimes your decisions kind of switch up depending on how much Pokeyen and effort you want to put in. You don't always see a lot of margin in breeds for profit these days, so if you happen to see one, go ahead and take advantage of it. Selling Pokemon or just interacting with the economy in any way in PokeMMO is a fantastic way to figure out how to make more money. The more you play the game, the more you explore things, the more opportunity for Pokeyen you have. So I should be able to sell this for about 110k or so and ended up making much more profit than before just by doing a quick little breed like that. Another good example is I bet you that XP training those Pokemon is really good Pokeyen. So let's go check 2 times 31 like this, modest Vanillites, right? Let's go check. So these are 120k. what's a Vanillix, right? These are 120k, 130k to buy. What does a Vanillix cost us? How do I spell that? Vanilla like this. Okay, the cheap, I mean, no shot. I'd be really shocked if you well, I don't know. There's a decent chance you could buy those Vanillites for 120k, EV train and XP train them, which is 1.25 mil. It's a fair bit of XP, but not a crazy amount, right? To level 100 and sell them. You could definitely sell these for 360k, easily 350k. Could you get the full 380? Maybe. This is a great example of like just exploring the market. You find these gaps and these loopholes. The PokeMMO economy is not like a typical, I gotta go bless this guy's egg badge, one sec. The PokeMMO economy is not like your typical PokeMMO economy or MMO economy. It is not you log on every single day and you do the same thing. You're supposed to explore, find the species, find the egg groups, find the Pokemon that have gaps in the market that need more supply and have a lot of demand, right? That is how you make money in Pokemon. A lot of people, I think, just try to do the same thing every day. A lot of newer players don't get that yet, and they kind of just don't find the great success. You got to switch it up and constantly adapt every day. You should be changing your money-making method every single day. And if you play a lot, you know, to be fair, there are things like Jimmy runs and trainer runs and amulet coins farming. If you do that stuff, or fossil farming, those are consistent. There are like evergreen money-making methods, and then there are adaptable ones like EV trading, XP trading, vanillites for profit, where there's a ton of margin for money. And with egg hatching being so passive these days, I can go ahead and sell some Pokeyen while also waiting for that egg to hatch to make more money. So breeding for profit while selling Pokemon in your boxes, it's fantastic. Now, this Snover probably does not go for a whole lot. Let's sell this pretty quickly. I might even just quick sell this. This is a good example of something that I would just probably just go ahead and quick sell for like 3K. And I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to price check it afterwards to just show you guys if that was awful or not. We're going to add our 2K profit from that. But let's do 31 defense. This is, I believe, planted monster. To be fair, it was monster. I might be able to sell that for more, but that's okay. Yeah, I just about nailed what that should sell for. If you want to just quick sell stuff, sometimes listing 1x31s like that for about 3K or so is about what's right these days. You should take your time often. It's usually worth it to the average player, but sometimes if time is money to you, like it is to me, it's fine to go ahead and just do that really quick. Next up, I can finally tell the Torkoal story. It's not as exciting of a story as you would expect. I did a loot from 1 hour of Torkoal video. I recorded myself catching 1 hour of Torkoals for profit. I love catching Torkoals for profit. It is one of the few catchable, like, for profit money making methods still left, in my opinion, because drought Torkoals go for a really good base price. Let me show you actually if I can find a drought. Here we go. This Torkoal, it just has drought. It has nothing else going on for it. It's got no other prospects, no job, no bitches, no money, just has drought, okay? Let's go over to has ability drought and see how much a drought Torkoal sells for, right? Usually they're about 5 to 8K is generally what you're looking for. Yup, right now they are about 8,000 Pokeyen. You can go do time swipe hordes of Torkoal or even like single encounters of Torkoal and just wait until you get the ones where you see the message at the start of the fight, like, oh yeah, this guy sets sun. You know, it'll tell you at the very, very start of the fight. You don't have to waste time catching white smoke ones on accident. And you can sell all of these drought Torkoals for about 7,500 Pokeyen a piece. Torkoal catching is very, very, very good, consistent Pokeyen that I think way more people should do, honestly, whenever this market opens up. This is a great example of sometimes this market has more demand, more supply. You got to just check drought Torkoals every few months and see if it's a good money making method that the time that you check it at. And I've got 4 of these Torkoals to sell just with drought. Some of these have IVs, so I will check these ones. I already sold 1 Torkoal with drought for 7,500. It's like 6,000 Pokemon. I'm gonna count it as profit. So it's 6K, 12K, 18K, 24K, 30K is all the profit I'm gonna make from just selling these few drought Torkoals really quick. It's honestly a bit more than that since I'm selling them for 7,500 a piece, but I don't want to count 500s in my calculator. I want to keep it nice and clean, but just keep in mind it might be a little bit more. But I also like to undercalculate in case I need to relist something, or, you know, like deal if someone doesn't sell, you know, give myself some of that leeway versus assuming everything will go properly. Things don't go exactly as planned in PokeMMO the same way they don't in life. You have to adjust around that. But here is our Vanillite hatch, and it's looking really, really nice. And this is a great example. Like, is someone buying this Vanillite from me and then EV trading and XP trading it? Is that like flipping, you know? Like, no. They're just they're hardworking. They're making some Pokeyen, you know? Let's go, you know, so I'm gonna sell this for 120K, I believe. 119. Like, you could do like 115, a little bit cheaper than the next one because it's missing the 20 plus Spadef. I believe that one, yeah, that one has, but it's pretty close, man. That's gonna be 100K profit. We paid for the Ditto and the listing fee. We paid 45K for the resources, and then the Vanillite originally was worth 30K. I'm not gonna count that though. I'm gonna count this as it cost me 50K a round to make this. So that's going to be 75K profit. Wow. And then normally you'd probably count the value of the Vanillite as well. Let's just go ahead and do that, actually. So 75K minus, a lot of math on the fly, so excuse the lack of visuals. 75K minus 30K. That's going to be an extra, what, 45K profit if my math is correct? That's really, really solid. Like, that's, I'm going to do plus 45K. I would have just made 30K on that Vanillite, but now I'm making 45. A little bit extra because I put a little bit of extra time into it. And I think that purposely represents like most of the PokeMMO economy. Is like the more time and effort you put into something, the more value it gains. Not always. You have to be careful with that. That's not always the case. To put in the value correctly, right, and know what to do. But that takes a lot of game knowledge. But generally, that's the premise. And Torkoal is also a very desired species. You can often sell Torkoals for really high amounts of Pokeyen because people don't really catch Torkoals. There's often not many good IV Torkoals on the market. Now, is this one really worth 18k? I don't think so. But could I sell this one for 12k? I think absolutely. I think it's a very, very fair price for that. So I'm going to list that for 11,000 Pokeyen profits. We're almost at 650k right now. We still have a bunch of Torkoals to sell. Now, a lot of these white smoke Torkoals, to be fair, are probably just getting released. I'm going to look through them and check the IVs, but there's a really good chance like these are all getting released. That's getting released. Let's just do it in live time, and I'll show you guys if I see one that stands out to me as actually being interesting. I don't think that's good enough. Nope. The 31 speed, okay, we keep that, of course. This one's got 20. Nope, not the right stats. This is all going to be released. So all of these Torkoals. Now, what you could do, what I'm probably going to do actually, do I want to? Instead of releasing these, what you should do as the average player to make a little bit extra Pokeyen is rebreed them. Pair up all the males and females, and then you can rebreed them, and there's a 50-50 chance that they come out. Number one, you have shiny chance, which is cool, but there's a chance they come out with that drought, right? So I'm actually going to pair all these up. Why? We might as well. Why not? These ones don't have matches, so we'll go ahead and release these. That's okay. If you want to buy breeders for those, you can. But I'm going to breed all these together. That's going to give us some extra chance for 6,000 Pokeyen a pop. All right, I bred those Torkoals. I got those hatching over here in the incubator. Now I can go ahead and sell off the rest and then finally end on that Poliwag. Now, this Torkoal is adamant, 31 attack, field, egg group, and male. So that means for a perfect breeder. So I'm going to go ahead and check that. That's going to be 20k or so. Wow. Natured Pokemon, correct natured Pokemon are really worth good Pokeyen right now. That's honestly one of the more impressive things. I'm going to sell that for like 23,998. That's worth like waiting a little bit and getting the full like 22k profit out of that. That puts us at almost 700,000. Wow. This is an extremely successful spring cleaning episode. Holy guacamole. And now we have one more Pokemon to list here. A 3x31 modest. 3 times. Yeah, this is a really good Politoed. This is a very, very good Politoed potentially for raids. I'm gonna disclude, I think, that 31 attack is the only weird thing here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this 20 plus on all the defenses, 31 attack, 31 speed. I'm gonna go modest, and we are gonna look for Poly, because it will sell as the species. The Poliwag, which is 170k or so, that's 31 HP. It's a bit better than mine actually, because the 31, even though it's 31, the attack is irrelevant, whereas the HP is relevant, you know? So I'd probably sell this Poliwag for, and it's alpha. This is gonna be a weird price check, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, should I go higher or lower than this one? If I were telling someone else to sell this, I'd probably tell them to actually go over this, since mine is alpha and has that hidden ability access. But does it matter that much becomes the question. Because I'm selling it, I don't mind selling it for a good deal. And for I'm going to go like 140, 150 on it. I'm going to go 140k. That'll be the deal of the day, hopefully. Hopefully someone could get a good deal on that, maybe flip it, make some profit off of it. I'm totally okay with that. That's going to be plus 133k profit for me. That is plenty. 822,000 Pokeyen expected profit. We still have those Torkoals hatching, but you know what? That might be some extra Pokeyen. It might not be. I'm honestly not worried about it. 822,000 Pokeyen is plenty. That is a very successful spring cleaning episode. All of that in one box, including I moved the alphas. A lot of left over out to the other boxes. That is a lot of Pokeyen to be expected to be coming in. Obviously, it might take weeks for those Pokemon to sell. Some things have insta-sold, so I'm going to go ahead and collect what I do have. We've already gotten 100k. 1/8 of our expected Pokeyen is already here. But that is another sell box empty, another box that we can actually just go ahead and rename over to box 7. And our journey will continue. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was a good video to throw on in the background while you grind, while you play PokeMMO. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you had some fun. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. If you did, leave a like on the video. If not, let me know and call me Stinky down in the comments. Subscribe for daily videos. I do upload every single day, and I usually stream Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Link is down in the Discord. I always update update if I'm live or not, if something happens. And if you want to go above and beyond and support my content, you can do so with YouTube memberships, gifted subs, Twitch Primes are free if you have Amazon Prime and want to come support live on stream. If you want to go above and beyond, YouTube memberships, or sorry, I already said that. PayPal and Venmo. PayPal and Venmo are the best two ways to support if you really want to allow me to keep making these videos. You guys allow me to do that. But most importantly, thanks for watching. Hope that was an asset to your day, and have a good one. I will see you guys later. But for now, peace, Reno. Also, I am the luckiest man alive because 4 of these Torkles rolled drought. So that is an extra 28,000 or so Pokeyen in profit right there. Wow. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody's name who is on this list. You really allow me to make the content that I do every single day, and I hope I can make it worth your guys' while and add to your PokeMMO journey. Thanks again so much for watching the entire video, and have a great day.